Hey, what is up, and welcome back. It's been a long time. And so, in this video, what we're going to talk about are the 8 pillars of wellness. What are those 8 pillars? Let's jump right into it. So, essentially, and I have my notes here, so I'm going to be looking at those. Essentially, there's nutrition, physical, spiritual, social, environmental, intellectual, emotional, and financial. Okay, so what does that really mean? People say that, oh, I want to get into wellness. I'm a wellness influencer. I'm a wellness expert. I'm a wellness coach, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of times they only focus on the physical or the mental or the financial, and those are the top three, really. Everyone wants to be in a better body. Everyone wants to be smarter, stronger, and everyone wants to be have more money. Everyone wants to be financially free. But there are other levels of wellness that people don't take an account for, that really are the reasons why you have these other pillars that are so strong. Right. So what I mean by that is, like, you focus on your nutrition in order to get a better body physically. But a lot of people just focus on the physical, and then the nutrition portion just goes straight out the window. All right. So you got to focus. All of these are like foundations. All of these have their own spot into like your whole foundation. And if you forget one, then a lot of times it's not the fact that the foundation won't still hold a house, because even a cracked foundation will still hold a house. It's just the fact that when is that house going to deteriorate, and how fast is it going to? Because again, even a cracked foundation can still hold a house. It's just how long will it hold it for, and what's the return on the value that you're going to get from that house. So let's talk about the nutrition first. So nutrition, first, let's just call this food. So nutrition, let's talk about, and this branches off into other things beyond just food, because nutrition just doesn't mean just food. Say that nutrition means what you feed yourself. So that could mean what you feed yourself mentally, what you feed yourself spiritually, what you feed yourself physically, what you feed yourself socially, what you feed yourself financially, all of that. But let's start for the sake of this. For the sake of this, let's say that nutrition is what you feed yourself from a food cellular level, right? So, what the phrase of like what you eat is very true. So by teaching yourself and by teaching and educating what nutritional needs that you have, meaning what are your macros, what are your micros, how many calories you need to get in per day, how much water intake do you need. By teaching yourself those, and just focusing on those basics, you're already leveling up and building that foundation. All right. Next one is physical. So physical is, let's think about physical health. Okay. So this is like building your physical body, going to the gym, waking up, waking up early to go on that run, being able to get mobility work in. So that's all physical stuff, right? Next one is spiritual. So spiritual, whether you believe whatever you believe in, whether you believe in something that's there, something that's not, or whether you believe in the ground is actually lava all the time, the floor is lava, or the sky really there's no air, it's just a bunch of particles that just sustain life. Whatever you believe in, I don't know. Spiritual is, let's say that spiritual is more the focus of the pillar of self. So really understanding what are you in terms of who are you. How who are you? What do you like to do? What do you not like to do? What who is you? Who is you? And how do you answer that if someone asks, and when someone asks you? Do you answer? And a lot of times people will say, "Who are you?" Oh, well, I'm an engineer. I'm a physical therapist. I'm this. I'm that. I'm this. You know, that's not who you are. That's what you do. And a lot of times we confuse what we do with who we are. And sometimes that can mesh. Yeah, sure, but just because you're a millionaire, billionaire, um, thousandaire, singleaire, whatever, doesn't mean that that's what you are. That's what you do, or that's what you have. So don't get confused. Don't get who you are with what you do or how you do things. Okay, so spiritual. The goal here is to kind of build build a spirit, build an unbreakable spirit, build a spirit that is like a rubber band, but an unbreakable rubber band. It could stretch, it could go all these different types of ways, but at the end of the day, it will not snap, it will not break. The next pillar that we're going to talk about is the fourth pillar. This is called the social pillar. So here we're talking about community, right? So this could be about attending events that want to teach you about interaction. Who are you talking? Who do you talk to on a normal basis? How do you interact with those people? Who do you text? Who do you not text? What do you say? How do you say it? So this is all about communication and socializing yourself, because at the end of the day, we are as humans social creatures. Everyone needs to be socially trained, quote unquote. So everyone has to have and has to have that exposure. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are. You have to have some sort of exposure, whether it be with another human interaction, or it could be a social interaction with another animal. Dogs, cats, birds, bees, bears, lions, tigers, bears, oh my, water, all that's the fish. That's all. It's still social, and so don't get so caught up in human interaction. Sometimes for some people, it's just about dog interaction and animal interaction, and to each his own. But for the sake of this conversation, we're going to talk about just person to person. That's going to be the easiest to understand. Right. So the next pillar is environmental. Now this is kind of the fun part. The environmental pillar is all about how you create and design your space so that your best self can live in it. Okay, you're inviting your best self into your space, wherever that space is. Now that could mean your actual home. So you're designing your space at your home. This could mean in your car. You're designing your space in your car so your best self can actually be there at all times. This could be at work. This could be when you're walking around. This could be when you're in the middle of nowhere. It's all about bringing your best self into the area that you're in, and the area doesn't have to be within like four walls or four corners or anything like that. The area could be a vast ocean. It's all about elevating your space and bringing your best self into that. So, next pillar that we're going to talk about in this podcast is intellectual. So, the intellectual pillar, we're going to focus on really refortifying the mental space that you can use the other pillars for. And again, it's about now that you built an unbreakable spirit, now we're going to build an unbreakable mentality. Okay, so this is all about really fortifying the space and re-solidifying um, this your space with intellectual cues about how and what to do in different interactions and communications. Right. So next one we're going to talk about is emotional, which is the seventh pillar. Emotional is probably one of the most sought after. This is about talking about emotional intelligence, emotional awareness, emotional integrity. And we teach that and say, hey, and we'll bring on guests and say, hey, how can we be more emotionally available? How can we really expand our emotional well being? And how can we build on that to help everyone to be um, more emotionally aware? Right. And finally, but not last, and this is probably the this is probably the biggest pillar that everybody talks about. Everybody and their mama